Hi guys, welcome back, and if it's your first time here, hello, my name's Vanessa Lee. I hope that you enjoy the video. So yeah, I did a short not that long ago, probably a day or two ago, and I was showing three of the same plants in different substrates. So this is kind of like my extended version where we can get up close and personal. And I may as well start with the plant that was in the short so that you can get the answer. Or should I? Should I make you wait? No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I think the first one that I showed was, this is an Anthurium Bakeri, or it's spelled B-A-K, like bake with an I at the end. Okay, actually I'm quite far away, so I'm gonna have to go a little closer. So here are the three different substrates. Here are the three plants in the different substrates. This one is in pon with quite a heavy perlite mix, and we've got some lacquer balls at the bottom just creating a reservoir. And you can see there's some nice roots kind of popping out the top there. In each pot there are three plants, and then let's have a look inside. Can't really see too many roots in the substrate, so that's the first one. The second one I want to show you is soil. Again, I've got some lacquer balls at the bottom creating a reservoir. Got three plants in there again. One's kind of gone a bit, got too moist maybe. Yeah, so it's in soil. It's in like a chunky aeroid mix. It's got sphagnum moss in there as well, pumice, cocoa core, cocoa husk, you know, a typical aeroid mix. And that's what she's looking like. Now, I can't see any roots, but then because it's in soil, that's going to be fairly difficult. But just looking at the plant at the top, you can kind of see it looks a little healthier than the one that I just showed you, which was in pon. So let's move on to the one that is the winner. And I can't remember where I learnt this trick. I definitely saw it somewhere and I was like, great, I'm going to try that out. So we've got perlite at the bottom. We've got sphagnum moss on the top. Look at the plant. It looks so healthy. We've got roots here as well poking out. But when you look into the perlite, you can actually see the roots, and there's a lot of them. Oh, I can't see them at the moment, but they're, I looked earlier and I was just like, wow, that's quite a rooty plant. And the plant itself looks really, really healthy. I did use Great White on all of these plants, and to be honest, I watered and then I put it in a humidity box, a propagation box, and they've been in there probably for, I don't know, maybe a month, maybe just under a month. So she's the clear winner. I don't know if you guessed right. Let me know if you did guess right, if you did see the short and you know, I mean, I know it's a really quick one. I gave you like a little flash of each plant, so it's probably quite hard to decipher. I'm still kind of getting used to the whole shorts thing. I do want to do more, I just want to get it right. So I was thinking maybe in the past I've done like a 60-second short, and then the last one was about 15 seconds. I just wanted to see what the difference would be. So I'm still kind of experimenting, and yeah, and this is the first experiment that I want to show you. Let me put them all together so that you can see them like that. Yeah, it's a clear winner. Okay, let's move on. So I've got a number of plants that I found around my home that I intentionally put into different substrates. So I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to start with my Draciana. Now this is a Draciana marginata. I think that's the correct name. This was actually a whole plant and I just chopped it up. There's another part of the plant which I gave away. This one is in a chunky pon mix from Soil Ninja, and I normally have this hanging in the hallway. I might put some footage up so that you can see where it normally lives. Sorry, I'm getting whipped. Woo! Yeah, I'm getting whipped by this plant. So I mean, this part of the plant was always smaller. So just kind of like, actually with a couple of these plants, that's going to be a theme. So although it's bigger, what I have noticed is that there's not much difference between this one's in soil, sorry. So this one's in soil, this one's in pond, and there isn't much difference in the health of the plant and the growth of the plant, although this one has been kind of wanting more light, and you can see it's leaning, but I want that. I actually want it to kind of create a curve. And this one has actually been in a really shaded area. And that's the one thing I love about this plant, is that you can put it anywhere. You can put it absolutely anywhere. It's just going to grow slower, obviously, in lower light. This is actually one of the first plants that I bought, not ever, but when I got into plants, I went to IKEA and I bought 5 plants. And this one survived. I've had this one since 2018. Wow. No, that can't be right. Let's say 2019, I'll put the correct date up. Let's say I've had it since, it's either 2018 or 2019. It was around September when I bought the plant. I just flown back from South Africa. I was living there for just a year, just kind of settling my daughter there. She's there with her father, her papa. So yeah, back to the plant. So yeah, you can tell it's a really hardy plant. I mean, I knew nothing about plants other than that they liked light and water, and I definitely never fertilized this plant. And if I were, when it comes to, gosh, string a sentence together, girl. So when it comes to the care of these 2 plants, I do find the one in pon easier. And the reason being is that, let me get a little closer, is that, actually I need to take it out of here. So yeah, I normally just have it hanging like this in the hallway. And yeah, so what I love about this is that I can see the roots, and I can also see whether there's water in the reservoir, which there is a tiny little bit in there. The other thing about this plant is it seems to be okay with cooler temperatures as well. So I'm loving that aspect. So that's that dude. And yeah, I'm really, now I want this to kind of bend this way. So I'm actually trying to train it to curve, but it's taking a minute. I think I'm not going to do that guy because, yeah. I think I'm going to do the Monstera siltipicana. Now I grew both of these, well, let's see. Yeah, I grew both of these from just a cutting. I think I had something like 4 leaves. And then from this, I started in soil, and then I cut it, and then I grew more of it with its own roots, new roots in pond. Now looking at the health of the plant, I really can't see much of a difference. It hasn't been the easiest for me, to be quite honest. Let me get in again a little closer. So yeah, I mean, these you can see are the original leaves, and it's finally pushed out a new one. So it's definitely slower in the soil, whereas this one, you can see that there's 3 or 4 new leaves there. So okay, that is a pro for the pond. The pond is winning so far. When it comes to the colour of the plant, now I have had this one in slightly lower light, not much lower though, but you can see there's like a brightness to the colour of the leaves on this one. And besides that, there's not much more I can tell you. I have had both of them in a humidity bin for quite some time. This one has been living outside of the humidity bin for about a month actually, because I needed to put more things in there, so it had to come out. This one's still in there, so it's getting optimum, it's getting all the best stuff, you know. It's getting humidity, it's got a plant light above it, but it's still moving slower. So I think this guy in the pond is a clear winner. So what I should start doing is putting the winners to one side and the losers to the other. I mean, she's not a loser, it's just that this plant definitely looks a little healthier, it's growing faster, and it's easier to care for, again, because I've got that reservoir at the bottom and I can see what the roots are doing. Although I've got this one in a clear pot, so I can see what the roots are doing. The roots are looking great. It's got a lot of roots. So I didn't show you that. So you can see there's a nice healthy supply of roots in there. But again, it comes down to the foliage, doesn't it, really? And one leaf does not make a super healthy plant. How long have I had this plant? Maybe about 6 months. I think I'm going to do a Hoya next. So I have this Hoya. It is a Pupicalic Super Splash. This one is in soil. And this one is in pond. Now, they are cuttings from the plant. I had this massive plant, I cut it up, and I think I made about easily 15 plants from just this one plant. And yeah, I did swaps with it, I sold some, I still have quite a lot of it. This was obviously a lot smaller, the amount of cuttings that I put into this vessel than I did into the soil. But looking at the leaves, let's have a look. Let's get in close actually. So if you look at the leaves, there's not a huge difference. I can't see any, although I do love the way that it looks in the pond. And I mean, the leaves are much smaller on this, but I did purposely cut smaller leaves and put them all together. I love that I can see the roots again. But I would say this plant is happy in anything. So yeah, I really do think you could get away with any substrate with this plant and it will just thrive. Rooting it, I rooted it in soil and I also rooted it in the pond. So I didn't do like a water method beforehand. I just plunked it straight into the soil, put it in a humidity box, watered it obviously, and yeah, it grew fairly quickly. I must say that the roots in the pond definitely grew quicker, and I'm not entirely sure why that would be. At this stage, I did not know about great white, or I at least hadn't bought any. So there's no great white involved. Let me have a look. I mean, they're both just as splashy. This one This one in pond does get higher light, so that's probably why you're getting more bleached out leaves. I don't know, I do not know. Oh, look at these new leaves. They're so cute. Okay, so no clear winner here. That's nice. It's nice to know that soil does the job. And when I say soil, I mean a soil-like substrate. There's no soil in there. It's mostly, actually, let's have a look at this. I'm not entirely sure what we're looking at. I think it's just in cocoa core and perlite. Is it? Oh no, there's some bark in there. Yeah, it's a classic aeroid mix. I don't think I was using sphagnum moss in the soil mixes at this stage. When did I do this? Maybe a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago. Okay. Let's put you back over there. Who shall I do next? I'm going to do this one because it's easiest. And then we'll move on to the like really big plants. Well, they're not huge, but so don't get excited. They're not huge, they're just heavy. Okay, next one is my Epipremnum Cebu Blue. I separated exactly the same amount of plant into two different substrates. I have one that's hanging and one that's climbing. Now I wanted to see if I could get the fenestration back, which at this stage I have not on either plant. They've both gone back to juvenile, like a juvenile stage. So the plant kind of came with, I mean it was, where did I get this plant from actually? I think I got this from Grow Tropicals and I bought it, I think this year at the beginning of spring. So I've had it about 8 or 9 months. I'll put the correct time up if that is not right. But yeah, you can kind of see it came with some fenestration. We've got like some, that leaf has always looked like that. It kind of arrived that way. I'm really loving this plant in this vessel, like hanging forward like this. I think it's just so cute and so whimsical. It's got quite a bit of damage. Yeah, we had a bit of spider mite and thrip infestation in the house. That was fun, but it's all under control now. The roots are looking amazing. They look super healthy. Let's have a look at the one that's in a chunky aeroid mix. So yeah, this is what I'm hoping to get again. This beautiful kind of fenestrated leaves. They're so pretty. And the reason why it's on the pole, I mean, check that one out. Isn't that gorgeous? But yeah, recently we've been getting, this did not grow in my care, just these 3 leaves here. So it grows quite slowly in soil. And I don't know if it's growing slowly because it's also climbing upward, but I wouldn't imagine that that's the reason why it would grow slower. I mean, it's kind of a clear winner for me already. I would say the pon. Unfortunately, I can't say on, I mean, the goal was to get the fenestration back. Let's check out the roots here. We've got some really lovely roots. You can see, yeah, we've got some great roots. Taking care of the plants, I would say it's definitely easier for me with it being in Lechuza pond, especially with the no drainage and the reservoir, so I can always see how much water it needs. I do let this dry out in between watering. In fact, with all epipremnums, in fact, all the plants that I've showed you, I do allow them to dry out. If there is a plant that I don't allow to dry out, then I will let you know, but all of them so far. So what do you think, guys? Is it obvious or not? For me it is. So I'm putting this guy in with the winners. Moving on to the heavy stuff now. Yeah, let's do that. Next one is my Scindapsus. This obviously is the mother plant. I don't have any other Scindapsus in pon that I can show you. So we're mostly going to be just looking at the health of the plant's leaves, its roots, and how easy it is for me to care for. So look at, I'm staring at a yellow leaf right now, so I must say this plant isn't the easiest. It was at its happiest when it got a lot of light, like it was in prime location, but I prefer the Exotica to this one, and so that one has prime location. Sorry, not sorry. Let me show you a little closer. I'm actually going to have to stand up with this one because it's so heavy. The leaves are absolutely gorgeous, and what I loved about this plant was the size of the leaves. They were coming up so big. So the more light you give this plant, the larger the leaves will be. But saying that, this guy is in soil and has been living in a humidity box in low light, and look at the size of those leaves. Can you see? They've both been getting, this one in pond definitely gets higher light, and this one is in northwest, moody lighting, but has always lived in a humidity box. Currently now out on my shelf. I'm just kind of seeing how it copes with being in the outside world. And the other thing I've noticed is that the leaves on this plant are kind of more, the lighter is like a lighter green. I don't know if that's because of the soil. I can't imagine it's because of the lighting. So could be that. Roots are crazy. I mean, this one has been growing for, God, would it be 2 years? Almost, no. Time is so crazy with these plants. I can never remember how long I've had them. I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, this was actually, I got this as a big bunch of cuttings. I had a massive bunch of cuttings given to me by a friend that I had made, a planty friend. We'd met in a plant shop, and like you do, and yeah, she gave me like this really long cutting. If you watch me on Instagram, there's like a video, or whatever they call them, a story, I don't know, it's either a story or a reel, where I received this. It was around Christmas time. I think it's been 2 years. Wow, that's nuts. Yeah, so okay, bring my thoughts back together. Yeah, so I grew this plant from cuttings, and oh my gosh, the roots are just insane. I don't know how I'm going to show you this though. Oh, it's so heavy. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Hopefully I can just kind of zoom in, but yeah, the roots are looking absolutely fabulous. I do find taking care of this plant, obviously again in pon, is much easier. And I use exactly the same method with this. When it comes to watering, I allow it to dry out. Okay, let me put it down. Oh my gosh, so heavy. Let's have a look at the roots on this guy. Ooh, we've got quite a lot of dead leaves stuck to the pot. Oh my gosh, those roots are beautiful. And we're hanging out of the pot at the bottom. She is the prettiest little thing. I love this plant when the leaves are big, but when they start throwing out those silly little leaves, I'm not for it. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one out of the humidity box. This is going to be my next experiment, is just to, I'll probably put highlight but in soil out of the box, and then, or maybe I'll just put them side by side and see what happens. So yeah, it's possibly too soon to say. I mean, there's some elements of growing in soil that I really like. I like the fact that the leaves remain quite large, but then of course it's been in the humidity box. But then of course watering, care, requirements are easier when it is in pot. Okay, now actually, you know what, I'm going to do these guys next. So I took some cuttings from my Hoya linearis. This one lives in the hallway. I mean, this was always shorter. This was always longer. Why did I say that? That's nuts. Yeah, this one's in soil. This one is in pond. So we're just kind of going to be looking at the health of the leaves. Now, instantly, straight away, I can see that these leaves are bouncy and happy. And I mean, they're pretty much the same colour. But when you get in close, oh, let me come a little closer. When you get in close to the leaves, I don't know if you can see, but there's like a kind of thinness about these. I don't know, I can't really explain it. Look, they both look pretty healthy, but there is like a slight thinness to these leaves compared to these leaves. They're like kind of chunkier and just like a bit hardier, and they do just look really bouncy. I will put in some footage of the mother plant. She is currently in bloom, so I will not be moving her. I might take you over there just now actually, so that you can see where she's at. And oh my god, she looks amazing, just mind-blowing. Yeah, basic cocoa core perlite mix. I don't think there's anything else in there. And pure pond with a little reservoir at the bottom. Much easier to care for, constantly forgetting to water. Well, not constantly, but I don't know what it is about soil. I do kind of take my foot off the brake and just leave them. Ooh, got a helicopter. That's nice. Right, yeah. So, yeah, I think, oh yeah, no. I'm just gonna show you one more time. You can see this one is a clear winner. My string of hearts. So this is a cutting from my mother plant. I had two at one stage because there was this deal at IKEA, bought this plant from IKEA. There was this deal at IKEA where if you bought two plants, you could get a third one for free. And I was, at this stage, I was just obsessed with finding this plant. And when I found it, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting two. It's kind of like if I walked into IKEA today and I saw a Monstera alba, I'd buy 5. Do you know what I mean? It was like that kind of situation, especially with that deal. I would have got 6. Do you know what I mean? I would have been like, right, I'm getting my free plants. I do tend to forget to water this plant, but this one is in pon, and I grew it, I propagated it in pon as well. We do have a number of dying leaves in there, which, I mean, yeah, the reservoir is completely empty. I keep forgetting to actually water this plant. It lives in the hallway, and those plants do tend to get neglected. But even with that, it's a fairly hardy plant. Let me get the mother plant. Hang on. So this is the mother plant. Can you see? She's really long. I mean, she's crazy, crazy long. And wow, this one's in soil. It's in its original soil, I think. And she just grows so quickly. Every summer I cut this plant. I cut it so that it was kind of like around this length, and all of this has grown throughout the summer. I've definitely noticed that this one that's in pon, I mean, it has grown in length, but definitely not to the same speed as the one in soil. I do find it difficult caring for this plant, like when it comes to watering. I don't like to water on top. I just find that it just messes things up for me. And so I water from the bottom up, but because it's the kind of plant that just constantly gets tangled up, so I don't really want to move it. And then I'm kind of just guessing how much water to pour into the side of this pot so that there's enough water for the plant, but I don't think I'm hitting it. I would love to repot this at some stage, but we'll have to wait until summer. And I really should have cut this plant again, and I might do that still. It's really not the right time of the year for this plant in particular. I don't know how I would kind of propagate without putting it in a humidity box. So I don't know, I might cut it, we'll see. Let me know in the comments, do you think I should cut this plant? Would you be interested in watching me do another experiment maybe? Yeah, let me know. And when it comes to watering, there's got to be another way. What do you suggest? Actually, maybe I should put this also in a non-drainage, but with soil. I might do that. Yeah, maybe I'll do a bit of a care day with this guy. I've had this plant for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. And she is the easiest plant in the world. Let me just put her back up here. And lastly, but certainly not least, is my Hoya Crimson Queen. Now this one, oh my gosh. This one's in soil. It has bloomed. This is the mother plant. And I've got several cuttings. I did have one cutting in soil, but I actually gave that to a friend of mine, a new planty friend. Yeah, we did a bit of a swap. So I don't actually have the smaller version to show you. I'm going to have to show you the mother plant. But I think what we're going to be looking at is the health of the leaves, and obviously how easy it is to care for. This plant, like I said, has bloomed, and it is full of peduncles. Full. Oh my gosh, it's just nuts how many peduncles are on here. So we have this one, which had the biggest flower. I mean, it was huge. And I'll put a little photo in at some stage. Got another peduncle right here. You see that? Don't know. Oh, there. You see that one, and then when you spin this plant round, I mean, I don't often do this, but you can see in there, there's quite a few more little peduncles, like here. Oh my gosh. And here. Yeah, she is a little bloomer. She is, oh wow. So this plant lives in the hallway in front of a southeast facing window. So that probably is why the leaves are looking a little bleached out on this plant. I mean, it gets highlight for at least in the summer, gosh, all day until the sun sets. Now she's probably getting maybe probably about 6 hours light. We've got like a bit of a weird, funky snake tongue leaf here, which is quite weird. Don't know what that's all about. But yeah, I mean, sometimes the leaves do look a little unhealthy. I'm not going to take this plant out of the pot because I've got it strapped up. So I can't really show you the roots, but the roots, this is the mother plant, so the roots are crazy big. I mean, they're very substantial. Okay, let's move on to my other one. Look at the white on these leaves. This one's growing in pon, sorry, I forgot to say. And I think I rooted it in, yeah, I did. I rooted it in pon. The leaves are super shiny and healthy. It's directly underneath a grow light. I might put in some footage actually of where it lives so that you can see how bright the light is. So there's no bleaching. Well, besides the fact that I've got this one stalk or stem that looks like it's just going to keep producing white leaves. I'm loving it. Oh my God, I'm in love with this. I'm so in love with this plant. I'm really, really happy. And when it comes to the health of the leaves, I would say that this and the other cuttings that are in pon look much healthier. And also watering requirements are much, much easier with it being in pon. Rooting was faster. Like I said, I did have one that was in soil, but I gave that one away. I do remember that the rooting was much faster in pon. This is the clear winner for me. Isn't she cute? Oh my God. Some more doubles, and I think, okay, so let's count up the winners. Let's see how many winners. So the Picana, Cebu Blue, Draciana, Crimson Queen, Linearis, yeah, I would say 5 out of 7 of the plants are in Luchusapon, and so Luchusapon is the winner. But of course, when it comes to this plant, the Anthurium baccari, I would say pon is the big loser. I mean, these plants that I put, these seedlings that I put in the pon were substantially smaller. So maybe I shouldn't be too harsh on the pon, but most definitely when it comes to propagating these seedlings, the sphagnum moss with the perlite at the bottom, I mean, wow, she wins. She's the winner, for sure. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and let me know what kind of experiments that you have been doing with your plants. Maybe there's a substrate that you have used that actually is even better than some of the ones that I have tried out here. I'd love to know. Are you into doing experiments actually? Is this like a thing that you enjoy doing? I really love it. It's definitely like a part of when I first started getting into plants. I was definitely like into the aesthetics of it, like how pretty it was there in the corner in that pot or whatever. And then it quite quickly became, once I discovered propagating, it became, right, let's experiment. And I just wanted to know about all the different substrates and, you know, how it affected the plant. And yeah, I was just, I mean, if you haven't done a propagation yet, just try a leaf cutting from a golden pothos or something like that. It's going to blow your mind. You're going to enjoy it so much, and you get to see those roots growing. Chef's kiss. It's so cool. Yeah, so yeah, let me know what your experiments are, what you get up to. And if you enjoyed the video, please do give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. I would love to see you here again. The more the merrier. Oh my gosh, this little family of ours is growing, and I'm loving it. And a big thank you to all of my subscribers and to all of the newbies that have been saying hi to me. Thank you so much for taking the time to say hello. It's been nice getting to know you bit by bit. What else? Oh my gosh, I just keep waffling on, don't I? And switch on the notification bell for any future videos. I am here always on a Sunday, but every now and then I like to keep you on your toes by adding a random video throughout the week, and I'm hoping to do that more often. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm really looking forward to, if I can, get to a stage where I can do this full time and do videos all the time. Yeah, I'm gonna love that. I mean, there's a lot of videos that I want to do. I'm gonna let you guys go, otherwise I'm just gonna keep talking. Have a fabulous week, and I will see you here again very soon. All right, bye.